Hi everyone, this is Liz. I just wanted to give a quick tutorial on the app called Pixton. I'm currently on the home screen, which will give you the opportunity to sign up, log in, create an account. I chose an educator account because I do act as a teacher outside of going to school, so this was definitely an easier opportunity to diversify my classroom. So after I made my account, it brought me to a screen that looks like this, and you have a lot of cool options like making the comic, making your avatar, setting up your classroom. I'm going to start with setting up your avatar. So in the top right hand corner, I've already set up mine, and as you can see, there are a number of opportunities for customization, from body type to hearing aids, wheelchairs, makeup, headgear, and you can customize the way your person looks as well. So skin tone, hair color, it's all fairly easy, things you'll see in other apps. So after you've set up your avatar, you need to set up a classroom. My classroom, I've created an example. If I were to click View Class, I also created an example student. And once you click on that student, you'll be able to see their comics, but we're not quite there yet, so I'm going to go back. When you're ready to give your students their login, I chose that they would have logins through Pixton, but you also have the opportunity to provide them with login through Google or through Office. In my case, I can send the link to the students, and I've set up a username for them so that they can log in through the link. Now, if I were to go back to create and I wanted to add another classroom, I would just click Classroom. And it looks slightly different from the student point of view, but if I wanted to create a comic, I would just click My Comic. So, going back to how you would create a comic, I'm going to click Create Now, and there are a number of different ways to create a comic. So on the left hand side of the screen, you will see that you can choose background, you can choose characters, and a few other things. For today's comic, let's go with a sandwich shop bus. And I think that it should probably be closer, that way I can see what's on the inside. So after I have clicked on the screen to choose what formatting I want the background, I'm going to click Characters. And if I want to add a person, so far there's no person in my comic, but if I wanted to add one, I would click Add Person. And there's a really cool way to make the comic personal. So if you click My Class, you'll see that my avatar and my example student's avatar have both popped up. So I'm going to click My Avatar. And again, if you click on the person who shows up, or if you click on the background, it will give you different ways that you can change. So now that I've added a character, I can change the way it looks with the character there. Maybe I want them on the left hand side, on the right hand side, in the middle. I'll put my character in the middle. And I can go again back to characters. Now I have one in this comic, and I can edit what they're wearing, the way they look, all that fun stuff. So again, if I'm clicking the comic, I can add a comment, or if I go down to words on the left hand side, I can choose between speech, caption, and effect. I'll add a thought bubble so that my character can think to themselves, where is the server? So far there's nobody there. And up that thought bubble will pop. So if I wanted to change my character's expression or where they're facing, I can click Faces, and clearly my person is wondering something, so I should choose a face that indicates that feeling. I'll go with this one. Oh, but maybe I don't like that, so I choose another one. Clearly, there's a lot of different options. I think this one works pretty well. So I can then choose actions, and after that I've got body poses, handheld props, and effects. The effects aren't as useful. You can see that you're mostly seeing different colors around your character. That doesn't necessarily work for my option, so I'm not going to add it yet. But if you scroll through handheld props, you can see that there are food options, so maybe I'll want that in a later comic. I can also search different options if I don't see something that I want while scrolling through. But if I do want to choose a different body option, maybe I want her looking for someone in the area. So I've finished my first comic, I'm ready to add another. So I click the plus sign, and the character and the background will show up again for me. This time I'm going to zoom out, and this is roughly how you're going to create a comic. Now, I already have a completed comic from one of my students, so I'm going to click done for now, and I'll type in example 2 to title it. That way it'll save my work. But once you have created a full comic, I'll click my classroom again. I'm going to go back to my example student. You can see that I've already viewed this comic because there's a check in the corner. If I wanted to view it again, I can click it. And the coolest aspect, at least in an educator's point of view, is the interactive rubric. Now, once you click on interactive rubric, it'll take you to a screen that looks like this. The comic will be at the top, and then you get to rate different aspects of the comic based on oops, fair, fine, and mint. Now, I went through this example comic. It was based on Harry Potter, so the character's got, I suppose you prefer music to sandwiches. Let's try something. He's got the music in his hand. Dog falls asleep, and there's relief shown on his face. So the background and focus I added as fair because you can see between the second and third comics the characters are having to be overlapping each other. They've moved at some point. The characters and expression I listed as fine. They didn't really change between the first two slides. The dog did change between the first and third, and Little Johnny has changed in the final comic, so that was pretty decent. The captions and dialogue I listed as fine. They didn't really give too many the variety of options, so I listed fine. And then spelling and grammar, I put mint. There aren't really any problems. However, that would not necessarily be the case for an entire classroom of students. The theme, I put mint. That actually, Harry Potter was our novel study for this year, so I related it to the classroom content, which is why it got that full rating. And then the sharing is back to fine. So at the end, you can roughly choose what you would overall give the comic, and it even shows the students what each of those categories means, how they can improve between one category to the next, which I think is really productive to improving their work. And then finally you can print the completed rubric. So this was just an overall view of what Pixton looks like. It also has a few places to click resources. It gives you lesson ideas, comic school, so it can help teachers with actually having the students create comics themselves. If you were to go to My Comics, you can choose the Need an Idea button, and it's really cute in terms of giving the students an opportunity to produce customized work that isn't necessarily on a worksheet. So this was Pixton. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you later.